Good day, everyone. This is Ali Chavez, and I'm here to present the system design, which is under Module 7 of Systems Analysis and Design Overview. So let's discuss about system design. There are two stages of system design. The first is the preliminary design, and the second one is the detailed design. For preliminary design, the analysis establishes the new concept. That's why it can be named also as conceptual design. While the detailed design, the system analyst determines the exact design of the new system. So let's start first with the conceptual design of a system. First, we need to define the problems of the company that we need a new system. So clearly understand and define the problem to be solved and identify the information need of organization. And this information can be determined by understanding the mission, objectives, and operating plans of the organization. In the example, in our Module 7, the preliminary investigation of Uniworld sales, so the problems that was defined are the products are always out of stock, little in-store communication, no information about day-to-day stock levels, and ordering done by intuition. Next step on conceptual design is set system objectives, and these objectives can be stated in quantitative terms. So in the same example of Uniworld sales, so the objectives are, so we need to maintain adequate stock in all branches, reorder stock automatically, allow stock distribution among stores, allow management to access inventory information, and reduce cost of inventory function. So quantitatively, we stated that to reduce the costs and maintain adequate stock. So those are the quantitative terms. Third is to identify the constraints. We have two constraints, the external and the internal constraints. In external constraints, these are the outside constraints like the customers, government suppliers. This external is we cannot control about it because it's external. While the internal are those imposed from within the organization. Other personnel is not cooperating or lack of support from top management. Resources are not good, and the time and money is not enough to do the system or to do the job. Fourth step is to determine information needs. What they want out of an information system, and items of information that are needed to achieve the predetermined objectives. So in our sample, so the scope is the project will be limited to the development of inventory system using the latest technology. So this is the information that they want, a new system for their inventory. So this predetermined objective can be outputted or can be resolved. Next is number 5 is determine information sources. The internal and external records. Internal records can be written in forms like files, inputs and outputs, correspondence and reports, while external records are from publication and government statistics. While another information is from the managers and operating personnel. We can set an interview for managers and operating personnel and ask how is the current system, so we know what they want. So here is on the same example, the data flow diagram for the current purchasing system of the Uniworld sales. And then this is the decision table for the current system. And this is the organizational chart of organizational chart uh, of UniWorld sales, which is required so you know who to be contacted with. Next is to develop various design. More than one alternative conceptual design are to be developed, which are compared to select the optimum one, which meets the requirements of the user or organization, and it should be cost effective. So on the same example, we have this. I have there's three options. Design option one is to centralize system where processing is done at the main office and reports generated every day for distribution to the branches. The second option is to allow each branch to do the processing. And the design option three is to compromise of the two alternatives. The processing is done at the main office, and there's still also done some information can be get from the branches. Next is to document the whole conceptual design. So this document involves overall system flow, system inputs, system outputs, and other documentation like activity sheets and system description. So from the example again, it is recommended to use a point of sales terminals at the store checkout counter. So all the in and outs of the items can be noted. There are two-way data transmissions between the stores and the branches. All files will be maintained at the central site if they decided the central system. Outputs will be in form of regular reports and demand status reports on terminal screen accessible to all managers. And the key features of the design is the automatic reorder procedure done by the computer generate order forms for products that fall below critical value. So if there's any critical items that is not available, so the computer will generate an order form, so no need to a person to check it. Last one is the report preparation. The report prepared should mention the problem, objectives, and an overall overview of the system. So everything that was discussed should be on the report. So make a formal presentation to management outlining a brief description of the problem, anticipated benefits, design in general terms, schedule, and expected cost. So the so the company can see how the system will go and how they will release a budget for that. So this is the steps for conceptual design of a system. Next is the detailed system design. First is the project planning and control. So in project planning, we need to formulate the project objectives, define the project task, prepare a network diagram of all events and activities so as to specify sequential and parallel events, schedule the work as per the requirements of the user, and prepare a budget for the project. So in conceptual, we already predetermined the objective, so now we need to finalize the objective of the project. And also, during the objective, we can also set a budget so they can release the budget in time of the implementation. While in the project control, get a feedback of the actual performance of the project with respect to time, costs, and work of the project and compare it with schedules, budget, and technical plans. Take corrective action when required so as to maintain. Next is involve the user or involve the people that new systems can be used that will be using the system. So inform the user regarding the new information system being developed and gain their support and acceptance. Assure that the user will benefit of the changes and will not be at disadvantage because of the new system. So the new system should be more have a gain of the user. They will not complain that that old system is better than the new system. So we need to explain to them how the new system works and how it will be easier for the new system if compared to the old one. Third one is detailed subsystem definition. Every system needs to be broken down to a certain all activities required and their respective inputs and outputs. The composition of the system to operational activities in general is carried out as follows. So for example, we have the main system, so we can subdivide it to subsystem, uh, describe the functional component, and each component should have a task and subtask and the operational element. Number four is the input and output design. By way of flow diagrams and through discussion with the user, the system designers now define the specification of outputs and inputs for each subsystem in more detail. So in the conceptual design, we already made the in the example of the flow diagram. But here in detailed system, we need to put all the diagram in more details. Number 5. Feedback from the user. This step will increase the acceptance of the IMS being designed. The system analyst should demonstrate the proposed MIS to the user of the system. And this step will assure the top management of the user organization that the detailed design project is processing as per plan. So, feedback from the user is very important because maybe they have the idea of a better option while they're doing the main system. So from their feedback, we can change or modify the system based on their feedback. Number 6, database design. So a database is an orderly arrangement of all records related to each other. Serves as a data resource for the MIS of an organization. And the database design should identify all the data, tables, and record types, identify fields for each table, the key fields for each, and relations between the various tables, determine the data type and width for each field of the tables, normalize the table, and then properly document data dictionary. So first, we need to make or create a database, and then list all the tables that required, and each field which is connected to other table can be used. We can use the foreign key so to connect those tables. Number 7 is the procedure design. These procedures are the rules, standards, or method designed to increase the effectiveness of the information system, detailed about the tasks to be performed in using the system. So in designing procedures, designers should understand the purpose and quality standard of each procedure, develop a step-by-step direction for each procedure, and document all the procedures. And these are the some types of procedure. The data entry procedure, which is the entry. Runtime procedure is how long it will take the PC to process your input or output. The error handling procedure, the security and backup procedure, and software documenting procedure. Number 8 is the design documentation. So it consists of comprehensive details of all design phases. So all that are discussed should be on the documentation. Start with the objectives, uh, what is the design limits, what will be the input, and what can be the outputs. And we need the data files of the input and outputs. And to for the user we need a manual so they can for example if they forget how it is done, then they can read the manual, and all the specification of the program and database should be stated also. So this is the all the system design discussion. Thank you. And this is are my references, a computer notes on system design. Thank you very much.